wake up reaching for a hand that isn't there, and find a desert in the space we used to share. The sheets are pulled tight on the starboard side, like a border wall where my secrets hide. I'm sleeping on the edge, afraid to drift too deep into the middle where the memories sleep. It's just half a bed and a whole lot of room in a house that feels more like a tomb. I'm freezing on the left, burning on the right, tugging at the covers in the middle of the night. Funny how a mattress feels like an ocean wide when you're stranded alone on the lonely side. Your pillow still holds the dent of your head, a soft little ghost in a kingdom of lead. I haven't washed the cases, I'm scared of the soap, scared it'll scrub away the last of my hope. I roll to the center, then I pull myself back. The silence is a sound and the room's fading black. They say time heals, but time just makes space for me to realize no one's taking your place. I'm a king of a valley made of cotton and down, watching my empire slowly burn down. It's just half a bed and a whole lot of room in a house that feels more like a tomb. I'm freezing on the left, burning on the right, tugging at the covers in the middle of the night. Funny how a mattress feels like an ocean wide when you're stranded up laying on the lonely side. Good night to the shadow, good night to the wall. The bed is still big, but I feel so small. Just half a bed, just half a life. I wrote your name on a paper scrap, a tiny map to lead me back from the trap of the silence we left in the hallway light before you walked out into the biting night. I held that letter like a sacred vow, but look at the mess I'm holding now. It's just thinking the rain running down my skin, the end of the story before we could begin. The blue turns to gray and the words start to bleed, losing the only truth I'll ever need. I'm standing on the corner, soaked to the bone, watching our forever wash away alone. The I love you is a smear on the page, a bird with no wings in a waterlogged cage. I try to catch the drips with a trembling hand, but you can't save a palace built on shifting sand. The sky is a fountain of unspoken tears, drowning the echoes of our better years. If I could freeze the clouds, if I could stop the flow, I'd salvage the lines that The landlord called to ask if I'm staying another year. I told him I'm not sure who's actually living here. Since you packed the boxes and took the color from the walls, I've been a stranger wandering these hollowed out halls. The rent is too high for a space built for two, when I'm just a tenant in a memory of you. I've got a short-term lease on a lonely heart, watching the drywall and the dreams fall apart, paying the price for a view of the rain. In a studio apartment filled with permanent pain, the keys are still heavy but the rooms are all light. I'm just renting the silence until the end of the night. There's a mark on the floor where your dresser used to stand, like a scar on the wood from a disappearing hand. I could paint over the scuffs and the cracks in the door, but I'm scared I won't feel your ghost anymore. I'm signing the papers with a shaking pen, and knowing I'll never feel at home here again. They say location is everything. Well, I'm in the dark, somewhere between a finish line and a flickering spark. Gotta move out tomorrow if I knew where to go, but everywhere I run is a place that we know. I've got a short-term lease on a lonely heart, watching the drywall and the dreams fall apart, paying the price for a view of the rain. In a studio apartment filled with permanent pain, the keys are still heavy but the rooms are all light. I'm just renting the silence until the end of the night. Security deposit, I know I won't get it back. Too many holes in the wall, too much faded to black. Just a month to month, just a soul out of luck. I'm still here, but the door is stuck. I'm standing on the porch where the reception is thin, trying to hear where your voice ends and the static begins. You're telling me something about space and time, but the words are all breaking like a faulty design. I'm holding the plastic so tight to my ear, but you're sounding like someone who's already not here. I'm losing the signal, I'm dropping the call, watching the bars on the screen start to fall. There's a hum on the line and a void in the air. I'm talking to shadows that used to be there. The connection is dying, the screen's going black, and I don't think a reboot is bringing you back. I remember when we were frequent a digital stutter that makes me feel weak. I'm chasing the ghost of a perfect reception, while I drown in the noise of this quiet rejection. One bar left, then a hollow hello. I'm begging the satellites not to let go, but the tower is far and the battery's low, and you're fading out faster than I wanted to know. I'm losing the signal, I'm dropping the call, watching the bars on the screen start to fall. There's a hum on the line and a void in the air. I'm talking to shadows, they used to be there. The connection is dying, the screen's going broke, and I don't think a reboot is bringing you back. Beep, beep, beep. The line went dead. All the unsaid things are the things I should have said. Just a dial tone, just a silence groan. I'm finally alone. I built a path of white line pages in ink, across the black water, right to the brink. Every letter I wrote was a beam made of wood, supporting the weight of a we that stayed good. But the first spark of silence landed right on the edge, and now I'm standing alone on a crumbling ledge. Now it's just paper bridges burning in the dark, ignited by the heat of a single cold spark. All the I love yous will turn into ash, falling in the river with a soft quiet splash. I'm watching the structure go up in the smoke. The weight of our promise was the first thing that broke. The ink is bubbling, the words are all charred. Keeping my distance is getting so hard. I see you on the other side, fading in the light, as the orange flames eat through the black of the night. We spent years on the drafting, months on the glue. Now it takes 30 seconds to lose all of you. touch the sky. The fruit in the bowl is turning to gold and rust, while the promise we made is gathering silver dust. I'm frozen in frame, a shadow caught in the light, between the end of the day and the start of the night. The clock on the mantle has nothing but time to kill, in a house where the air is heavy and perfectly still. It's a still life with heartbreak painted in gray, capturing the moment you started to drift away. No movement in the water, no wind in the trees, just a man on the floor brought down to his knees. I'm a portrait of silence, a sketch of the pain, waiting for colors that won't ever come back again. The wine in the glass has a skin like a frozen lake, reflecting the heart that I knew was about to break. I haven't moved a chair, I haven't opened a book. I'm terrified of losing the way that you look. One hand on the table, the other reaching for air, in a masterpiece of nowhere, and nobody's there. If I don't break, maybe the scene won't change. If I stay quiet, maybe it won't feel so strange. But even a canvas starts to crack and to peel, and I'm tired of faking the way that I don't feel. It's a still life with heartbreak painted in gray, capturing the moment you started to drift away. No movement in the water, no wind in the trees, just a man on the floor brought down to his knees. I'm a portrait of silence, a sketch of the pain, waiting for colors that won't ever come back again. Don't touch the easel, don't stir the light, just let me stay blurry in the middle of the night. Just a frame, just a name. Dust is settling on the velvet seat. In the corner where the light and shadows meet, I still set the table for two every night. Then I catch myself shaking in the dim yellow light. The wood doesn't creak, the fabric don't move, but it's holding a shape that I'm dying to prove. No, the weight of the chair you left is heavy with the ghost of the life we kept. It's a hollow throne in an empty room, a garden of silence beginning to bloom. I can't sit down and I can't walk away from the space where your heartbeat used to stay. I left your book on the arm where it fell, like a secret that nobody's willing to tell. The coffee went cold and it turned into ice. I'm paying for love at a permanent price. The rest of the house is moving along, but that square foot of floor is where I belong. I wanna burn it, I wanna keep it gold. I wanna touch the parts that your hands used to hold, but every time I look, it's just a frame of wood, wishing it could hold me like I know you would. Oh, the weight of the chair you left is heavy with the ghost of the life we kept. It's a hollow throne in an empty room, a garden of silence beginning to bloom. I can't sit down and I can't walk away from the space where your heartbeat used to stay. Still tucked in the corner, still facing the door, waiting for a shadow that don't cross the floor anymore. Just a chair, just the air. The cellulite is clicking, a steady rhythmic beat against the empty silence of a house that's lost its heat. I'm watching flickering ghosts dance across the living room wall. Back when we were giants, back before the fall. But the light is getting shaky, the image starts to jitter, and the taste of the popcorn is turning cold and bitter. We've reached the end of the reel, the screen's gone white, just the hum of the motor in the middle of the night. The happy ever after got caught in the gears and dissolved in a puddle credits are rolling, but there's no one left to see the final lonely frames of you and me. I see the way you looked at me in a sun-drenched 16 on him, before the plot got heavy and the lighting started dimming. Now the scratches on the surface and the tape is getting thin. I'm trying to find the moment where the sadness let itself in, but the film is spinning loose now, flapping on the floor, and I can't find the courage to watch it anymore. The theater is empty, the curtains have been drawn, and I'm still sitting in the dark, waiting for the dawn. But the projector's burning hard, I can smell the melting blue as I lose the final flickering vision of you. We've reached the end of the reel, the screen's gone wide, just the hum of the motor in the middle of the night. The happy ever after got caught in the gears and dissolved in a puddle of silver screen tears. The credits are rolling, but there's no one left to see the final lonely frames of you and me. The tale is spinning round, a cinematic silence is the loudest kind of sound. The house lights are up, the story is through, nothing left to play but the ghost of you. It's still hidden underneath the loose porch stone, a little piece of silver sitting all alone. I check it every evening when I pull into the drive, just to see if the hope is still breathing and alive. It's a jagged little promise that the luck won't change in a world where everything is starting to feel strange. It's just the spare key to a heart you don't use, the kind of thing you keep, but you're bound to lose. Threw in the river just the other day, but I couldn't bear to watch the metal drift away. So I polished off the rust and I put it back in place, right next to the memory of your leaving face. If you ever get lonely, if you ever lose your way, it's only the wind. The shadows are long and the patience is thin. Still under the stone, still here on my own. Keep the key, but forget about me. I'm running my fingers over the side of the bed where the ghost of your body used to rest its head. The indentation starting to rise, like a secret kept from my tired eyes. I'm following curves that are no longer there, just a hollow shape in the heavy air. I'm just tracing out the lines of a life we knew, drawing a map that leads back to you. My hands memorize what the eyes can't see, the silhouette of who you used to be in the negative space where the cold sets in. I'm searching for where I am and you begin. There's a fog on the mirror from a shower for one, a blurry reflection of a man who's undone. I write your initials in the silver mist, remembering the jawline that I used to kiss. But the water runs down like a slow glass tear, and the letters dissolve till they disappear. It's a dangerous game, this blind man's touch. Holding on to nothing shouldn't hurt this much. But if I stop moving, if I let my hands fall, then there's nothing but wood and a blank white wall. I'm just tracing lines of a life we knew, drawing a map that leads back to you. My hands memorize what the eyes can't see, the silhouette of who you used to be in the negative space where the cold sets in. I'm searching for where I end and you begin. Fingerprints on the glass, hands on the door, feeling for a rhythm that don't beat anymore. Just a shape, just a ghost, the outline of what I wanted the most. I'm watching the photo on the bedside stand, watching the colors slip away like sand. First went the sparkle in your deep brown eyes, then went the blue from our summer skies. The edges are curling, the center's gone white. You're pulling a disappearing act in the middle of the night. It's a vanishing love, a slow motion fade, the ghost of a promise that we never made. I reach for your shoulder, but my hand hits the air. Just a lingering scent of the soul that was there. You're a trick of the light, a blur in the frame, a hollowed out echo of a beautiful name. The toothbrush is gone and the drawer is shut tight. The silence is winning the rest of the fight. I look in the mirror, I'm startled to see that you're taking the best of the image of me. There's a hole in the kitchen where your laughter would ring. Now the kettle is the only thing left that can sing. How do you leave without making a sound? How do you lift without touching the ground? You've mastered the art of the great escape, leaving me here in a hard-colored cape. It's a vanishing love, a slow motion fade, the ghost of a promise that we never made. I reach for your shoulder, but my hand hits the air. Just a lingering scent of the soul that was there. You're a trick of the light, a blur in the frame, a hollowed echo of a beautiful name. Now you see me, now you don't. I thought you'd stay, but I know that you won't. Just smoke, just mirrors gone. I'm tracing the patterns of the faded floral vines, looking for the places where your hand once brushed against mine. The edges are curling, peeling back from the wall, revealing the plaster and the wreckage of it all. We chose this together on a Saturday in June. Now the colors are dying in the afternoon. It's just wallpaper memories starting to tear. The ghost of your shadow is still hanging there. Underneath the roses is a layer of the past, a love that we promised made of pieces of you. There's a mark by the window where the sunlight hit the gold, a story of a summer that's grown bitter and cold. I try to strip it down, to start with something clean, but I can't erase the beauty of the things we haven't been. So I press down the bubbles with the palm of my hand, trying to hold on to a life we never planned. If these walls could crumble, if these walls could speak, they'd say that my heart is getting tired and weak from staring at the lilies on the geometric lines, counting all the ways that I forever decline. It's just wallpaper mirroring, starting to tear. The ghost of your shadow is still hanging there. Underneath the roses is a layer of the parts of love that we purged, was built to last, but the glue is all dry and the seams are showing through. Another room made of pieces of you. Paper thin skin, paper thin heart. I don't know where the wall ends and where I start. Just the patterns, just the stains. The yellow sundress that you wore in July has turned to a pale, sickly white like the sky. I left it too long in the window's harsh glare, watching the pigment dissolve in the air. Now the violet greens of the garden we grew are just faded stains of a life I once knew. It's just washed out colors and a heart gone gray, watching the saturation slowly bleed away. The red of your lips and the blue of the sea are becoming a blur of a memory to me. I'm scrubbing the fabric, I'm rinsing the soul, but the more that I clean, the less I feel whole. The photographs hanging along the north wall are losing their depth and their meaning and all. I remember the gold of the autumn leaves fire. Now it's just charcoal and ash on the wire. Even the earth in the center of the frame is actually begin. Just a wash, just a shade of the brilliant love that we once I'm standing on the threshold of a faded dream, where the fabric of us is coming apart at the seam. I can still feel your warmth on the passenger seat, and hear your keys jingle as you walk down the street. But the edges are blurring, the colors are thin. I'm losing the fight to keep the ghost tucked in. You're almost a memory, almost a ghost, the one that I'm terrified of losing the most. A flickering candle in a hallway of wind, the end of a story where we just began. I'm reaching for shadows, I'm chasing the light before you disappear into the velvet of night. I saw a stranger today with your tilt of the head. For a heartbeat, I forgot every word that we said. I almost called out, I almost reached through the crowd of the people who are never you. But the feeling subsided, the vision went cold. Another page turning on a story gone old. Don't slip away into the haze of the years. Don't let the salt wash away all the tears. 'Cause as long as it hurts, I know you were real. But I'm starting to forget how your heart I shook the frame until the white turned to gray, trying to conjure a ghost from a better day. But the chemicals are stubborn and the timing is wrong, like a needle that's stuck in the middle of our song. I see the outline of your jacket, the tilt of your chin, but I can't find the light where the love lets me in. We're just blurred Polaroids left in the sun, fading away before we were ever done. The colors are bleeding, the edges are frayed, just a washed out reminder of the plans that we made. I'm holding a moment I can't quite recall, a static filled heart hanging on the hallway wall. There's a smear of a smile and a flash of a ring, but the focus is gone from every beautiful thing. I remember the laughter, but I can't see the face, just a hollowed out shape in a sun-bleached space. The more that I stare, the more you retreat into the developer, bittersweet and incomplete. Maybe it's better if the image don't clear, if I don't have to see that you're no longer here. I'll keep the smudge and I'll keep the mistake, 'cause a perfect picture is too much to break. We're just blurred Polaroids left in the sun, fading away before we were ever done. The colors are bleeding, the edges are frayed, just a washed out reminder of the plans that we made. I'm holding a moment I can't quite recall, a static filled heart hanging on the hallway wall. Wait for the flash, watch it go dim. The light's getting low and the chances are slim. Just a blur, just a haze, lost in the heat of the forgotten days. The kettle's whistling a low, lonely tune, but it died out somewhere around noon. There's a ceramic cup sitting by the sink, with a dark bitter circle and too much time to think. I let it go lukewarm, then I let it go gray, matching the color of this Tuesday. It's just cold tea and morning rain, washing the dust off the window pane. One's too bitter and the other's too loud, both of them dragging me under a cloud. I'm sipping on regrets that I can't wash away, while the sky cries for us in a permanent grave. The steam used to rise like a soft white veil before our forever started, looking so frail sip bitter truth. The cup is still full, but I'm empty of you. Just the the needle's hanging heavy over side B, looking for a groove that's been lost to history. I used to hear the crackle of a fire in the sound before you took your rhythm and you left this town. Now the vinyl's spinning but the music's gone thin, just a static hum where the magic used to begin. Dust on your records and grit in the soul, a scratch in the middle of a heart that was whole. I'm watching the velvet turn to a shade of blue in the quietest house that I ever knew. I can't bring myself to wipe the surface clean, 'cause the dust is the last of you I've ever seen. Your favorite Leonard Cohen is still sitting on top, waiting for a finger to make the spinning stop. I remember how we danced in the kitchen light to a song about a bird on a wire in the night. But the sleeves are all yellowed and the edges are torn, and the melody feels like it's starting to mourn. Vibrations are gone, the speakers are dead. I'm playing the greatest hits inside of my head. I wanna flip the record, I wanna hear the truth, but I'm stuck in the skip of a wasted youth. Yeah, there's just dust on your records and grit in the soul, a scratch in the middle of a heart that was whole. I'm watching the velvet turn to a shade of blue in the quietest house that I ever knew. I can't bring myself to wipe the surface clean, 'cause the dust is the last of you I've ever seen. Turn it off, let it sit. The song is over, this is it. Just the dust, just the rust. I still walk softly past your door, like like I'm afraid to wake the ghost of us once more. The coat rack's empty, but I see your shawl and the shadow of your laughter leaning against the wall. I reach for the light, but the bulb is blown. Just another reminder, I'm standing here alone. Now it's just echoes in the hallway, screaming your name. A million I'm sorries that all sound the same. I'm chasing a heartbeat that's miles away, in a house built of memories that started to break. The silence is heavy, the floorboards are cold. I'm holding a story that's already been told. I found your keys in the kitchen drawer, the ones you said you wouldn't need anymore. The scent of your perfume is fading out fast. Nothing this hollow was ever meant to last. I'm talking to shadows, I'm watching the dust, trying to find where we turn love into must. Every step I take sounds like a goodbye underneath the ceiling where we used to lie. If these walls could talk, they tell me to run, but I'm waiting for a morning that's never gonna come. Now it's just echoes in the hallway, screaming your name. A million I'm sorries that all sound the same. I'm chasing a heartbeat that's miles away, in a house built of memories that started to break. The silence is heavy, the floorboards are cold. I'm holding a story that's already been told. Footsteps on the carpet, but they aren't yours. Closing the windows, locking the doors. Just an echo, just a ghost. The one I love is the one I miss the most. The white lines are blurring like a leaking pen on a road that won't lead me to your arms again. I packed the essentials, left the rest on the floor, but I brought every word that you said by the door. The engine is humming a low, steady ache as I put some miles between us for both our sakes. Now you're just fading in the rearview, getting so small, a flickering light. into the black. The toaster popped, but the kitchen is quiet. Just the hum of the fridge and a heart in a riot. 2 plates on the counter, but I only need 1. A habit I've kept since the day we were done. The butter is melting like my resolve, in a house full of riddles that I can't solve. Now it's just ghosts of our breakfast, smoke in the air, and the way that you used to tie up your hair. I'm pouring 2 coffees, then pouring 1 out, while the silence gets louder and whispers with doubt. We're scrambled and broken, we're burned on the edge, just memories falling off of a ledge. There's a smear of strawberry jam on the cloth, like a stain on the wings of a dying moth. I still hear the scrape of your chair on the tile, the ghost of a joke and the ghost of a smile. But the pen is getting cold and the morning is old, and I'm left with a hunger that's bought and sold. The radio's playing that song about June, but the sun in the window is leaving too soon. I'm biting my tongue just to taste something real, instead of the hollow that I've learned to feel. Now it's just ghosts of our breakfast, smoke in the air, and the way that you used to tie up your hair. I'm pouring 2 coffees, then pouring 1 out, while the silence gets louder and whispers with doubt. We're scrambled and broken, we're burned on the edge, just memories falling off of a ledge. Table for no